Hey, welcome back to another episode of Pints with Pals. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me I have.
I'm Jason.
And I'm
And
Mike. Sorry, I was going to wait for his tagline, but there wasn't one, so I guess we're just
I
going to
don't
keep
no
going.
tagline yet.
It's simple, Jason. That's all you get.
Yep.
I like it. Love
Today is it kind of follows in the footsteps of last week's podcast. This was one of my first barrel aged beers. And today, as you can see by the title, we are drinking some Better Half, Curmudgeon's Better Half, often referred to as just Better Half. I'm excited to try this. This one's from 2018, so it's getting a little long in the tooth. Jeremy, I think we've all had it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So without further ado, I'm gonna crack mine open. Some people have.
I've already cheated. Mine's already there.
It's a light brown in color. It's not super dark. Sorry.
Let's see. I cracked mine open for reasons that I like get mine just a tad bit warmer than straight out the fridge myself. I find it super sweet at the very beginning when it's super cold, but as it warms up, it's not as bad. Or at least I get more flavors. I'm kind of curious, since Founders is not that huge in Tennessee, or at least not these kind of crazy ones that you guys get. So how do you guys stumble upon these things?
They get distributed locally quite a bit. So I think that I had this at a local bar, and then actually went to Founders Detroit to have it directly from there.
And a few years ago I wasn't drinking terribly much at all. But I was collecting beers, and I had bought I was following releases and all that, and Founders. This is back when KBS was very rare. You couldn't get it anywhere, and you had to go buy it. When it was released, I bought and I still have some. I was showing them earlier, but Curmudgeon's. This was back in 2017, I think, was the last time they made Curmudgeon's.
Oh, wow.
And then the next year, as Mike said, his bottles from 2018, they came out with a barrel. Well, it already is aged. I don't know. This is a question for Jeremy, because it's already aged in oak barrels, but then they barrel aged it to make in a different barrel, I guess, to make Better Half. And then as Mike said, when they opened the brewery in Detroit, the Founders Breweries, that's where we had it. And I will admit, I didn't like it for a few years, but as this one, mine is also from 2018, it's mellowed a little bit. So,
I was just gonna say that. Last year, it was meh. I had it, and I just came back from a beer drinking weekend, but after having a whole bunch of other stuff that I thought was superior, far superior, I don't mind this. It's a good, it's kind of refreshing almost.
I was rare. I was the one who not hated it. I was the one who didn't like it, but all of my friends loved it, and I would always, whenever I saw 4-packs, I'd grab some for them because it did sell out. It's very popular still to this day.
Well, I remember the first time I got it was from, I believe it was Mike, or he gave me, or you. One of you two gave me one, but you gave me the big one.
Okay.
And I sat here at this desk and I drank the whole thing, but it took me all night long to drink it. So at 8 o'clock, I didn't finish 1 o'clock in the morning because this stuff was so strong.
It's
strong.
This is 11.8, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was 12 something. Yeah, it's 12.8 or 12.7.
There you go.
12.7 ABV. Yeah, this was bottled on 8/27/2018. The funny thing is it doesn't really explain what type of beer it is. So flavor of the week, I wasn't really sure what to put in our podcast title because it's not super. It's an old ale brewed with molasses and aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels. What the hell is a maple syrup bourbon? Is that a thing? Am I confused?
I don't know. I've never seen one myself, but I'm willing to bet it's probably just bourbon barrels. They add a bunch of maple syrup to it because there is a strong, super strong maple syrup smell to it.
Yeah. So
I don't get no molasses. I don't think I've ever gotten molasses. So I find molasses to be Granted, it's sweet, but it's trying to describe molasses.
I feel like in a beer though, you would just kind of lose it, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't it just get eaten by the? It's a refined.
So the
It's like brown sugar but cooked down.
The sugars you would lose, but I feel like the flavor that molasses has should linger. But
Yeah, it's kind of
again,
like a burnt sugar ish.
I don't think my palate's that super
No.
sensitive.
No, they also have they have a deep cut variant of this.
I actually have that here. I do also.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be awesome and don't love it. That came out in like 2019, I think. So
yeah, that was
bought,
their Panther Club, I think they had it. Or
so we were
Oh,
we all
was
signed
good.
up for the Founders Mug Club thing, so you could get like exclusive deals and all this kind of stuff. And then in like, so we had it in like 2020, and then everything just shut down. So like for there was a big controversy. People can look it up. I'm not going to really repeat it. In the Detroit brewery shut down for like I don't know 6 months or something in the middle of our like just before the pandemic, in the middle of our subscription, and then the pandemic hit and they just closed completely for like a year. It said indefinitely closed, and then I was like, cool, well, that was fun. From where I used to live, it was
Chinese company.
No. Oh, you might be right.
I think Founders did.
I was thinking of Bell's. Bell's got bought by an Australian company.
They had that
obviously not
scandal,
Chinese.
and then they got. I'm pretty sure they sold to a Chinese company.
Something.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I haven't really been following it. I'm gonna like admit that Founders has fallen off of my like radar for like top breweries. I definitely can taste. If you give me a Founders beer and I was blindfolded, I could tell you it's a Founders beer regardless of what actual beer it is. They have a very distinct, either the yeast that they're using or the water that they're using or a combination of all of those things causes their beer to taste very unique, but not in each of them tastes the same, but it's unique in like I can taste that it's a Founders beer kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So
I definitely want to make a correction. I did look it up real quick while we were talking. They looks like they gave majority of the ownership of 90% to a Spanish brewing partner.
Oh, that's what it was. Spanish, yes.
Spanish, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was one of their big conglomerates over there. Yeah.
That's weird. I wonder why.
I think it was during the pandemic though, when all that other stuff was going on.
The deep cut is just the same thing, just aged longer, apparently.
Oh, is it?
And I can't remember the flavor of it. I haven't had one in a while, as Mike said.
I gave one to Jeremy, so we all three have one.
Mike gave me one last year too. I want to say last summer we did a beer share, and I tried it last year. When it was cold, it was definitely better. It did not get better as it warmed up.
I don't know for sure because we hung out in the summertime. I don't know for sure that I didn't ruin almost all those beers because they sat in the car for a really long time. Like when we parked somewhere and they got hot in our parking garage or whatever the hell it was. I think they got up to like probably 85, 90 degrees. It was a covered parking structure, but like the cars were just hot. Like the parking structure was just because it was summertime.
Yeah.
That sucked. So I don't know how much of that beer was kind of ruined because of that.
Well, that was my only complaint was about that one. I think the other ones were fine. I don't remember.
I feel like there was a few that we had to just dump out. I think I gave you some old stuff that was like 2017. Oh yeah, because I gave you that one that was it's like a horse on it. I can't remember what it was called. Dark Horse something or other maybe. Yep. And that had gotten gross. And there was there's another one too that had like a different flavor.
There was that pear that Jason gave me. I couldn't drink. It was.
Really?
Yeah, the salted caramel. Oh. That was just way too much of everything. I just couldn't do it.
I haven't tried it yet.
I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, it was. Caramel. It's a year old now, so maybe a little bit better.
Right. Yeah, I haven't tried any of the normals.
I think I waited about 3 months after you picked it up, Mike, or you guys picked it up.
Yeah,
it wasn't very long. And then I tried, because you were trying one. You and Angela were drinking one of them, and I started drinking the other one.
It was not good. Yeah, that was So this weekend was a pretty big deal. Well, not a big deal, a medium-sized deal. My wife and I drove out to Chicago, and on the way out to Chicago, we stopped at Hailstorm. Hailstorm is the maker of my. I have 3 beers that are a 5 on Untapped, and Hailstorm makes the zombie versus no Vlad versus zombie versus shark. They call it VSS. No,
Yes, yeah.
VZS. It's really hard because they say it so fast. I'm like, what? So VZS is their like super beer. Basically, they blended like 3 or 4 beers, 3 beers together, I think, or a mix of them all, and it ends up being like 18% ABV. I think that it's one of my favorite beers. I caught it at Fobab the first year I went there in 2019, and then I finally got to their releasing of them, and they started production much higher. So we went there and stopped in, and they have a blend now, which is not the one that came out in 2019. Nope, which is not the one that came out for 2022's Fobab. But it's a blend of Blanton barrels, and I can't remember which the other one was. Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare was the other barrel that they mixed together. So it's similar, but it's not quite the same. It's not as sweet, which is weird, or it's more sweet on the nose. I don't know. And then from there, we went to Revolution. Revolution released a very VSO, very special old Gravedigger, which is their they have it. It's a Scotch ale, so it's a barrel aged Scotch ale, and that was phenomenal. So we went out there and grabbed a bunch of those beers, and then on Saturday we actually had to make an order for Perrin's thing, so we ordered more beer from Perrin that I have to go pick up in 2 weeks. Darn it! And we're gonna actually go out to Founders. We're gonna go out to Founders on in April, the end of April. So I'm excited to do that again. And then from Saturday we ended up at we went to the Goose Island and ended our day at Goose Island. I went on a tour and stuff. It was really cool. It's really tiny. The one we went to, there's like just one brew station. I sent you the picture. I thought that was pretty cool. What about you guys? What did you do this weekend? Not either one of you at the same time.
I know, right? Where did you go? So
Okay.
yeah, so I went to a ham fest on Saturday, which is for ham radios. That was kind of cool. I got to see a bunch of from like ancient ham radio equipment to brand new equipment and stuff like that. It was just kind of neat. Listen to people talk, and then from there, went to Knoxville and went to Scholl's Brewing Company, which is a German brewery. All they do is German beers. So Heffies, Dunkels, Radlers, all that kind of crazy stuff. They have German foods, or they got like, the schnitzels, the wurst, the Rotkraus, all that kind of cool stuff that I like to eat. Really good beers. So I had their Dunkel, which was just phenomenal, and their Heffy was really good. Earlier when I started to these guys, I was telling them about, I saw they do some barrel aged stuff, which I didn't get a chance to try any for the simple fact that I was driving. But I noticed that all the barrels they had were Buffalo Trace, which is my favorite bourbon. So I really want to go back and try that. We'll see what that tastes like. So that was pretty much my drinking experience for the weekend.
When you said you went to a ham fest, I honestly thought it was
That's
like
why I said ham
pig.
radio.
Yeah, no, I was for sure thinking that you went to like some like weird like festival of ham, not like radio. I was like, that seems like a weird thing to do, but all right. I mean, I've gone to like Detroit like food fest things, and I guess if it was specific to ham, then that's cool. It was just
I used to go to
Easter.
Red Fest in Michigan, so.
So I unfortunately I know in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Rapport had the same thing that Mike had, right? Revolution was they did a tap takeover, and they had the VSO there, I think.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to that. That was Thursday night. But Saturday, I met up with some friends at Holmes Brewery in Ann Arbor. They had a beer release at their campus location, which I didn't end up going to. I've cut myself off from purchasing beer until I thin the herd in the basement. I have way too much. But they actually had a barrel-aged release. I was actually looking it up. They had a double barrel aged barley wines. They did a collab with Horus, which I don't know if either of you had, but Horus is
I
amazing.
don't think so.
Yeah, so I didn't end up going to that. They also had a kettle. But yeah, I had some what is it? Blurb, I think. It's a blueberry with basil sour. That was delicious. Very, very strong basil. But took some of that home with me. And then after that, we went over to Townie's Brewery, which I hadn't been to, but it was very, very cool space. Had their Kolsch and Amber. No, not Amber. Golden Ale. The Golden was very delicious. I liked that a lot. But it was very cool space. You could see all the brewing kegs or whatnot, but I don't know. Jeremy, you can correct me, whatever they were. I sent you a photo, but saw those back there. It was very cool setup. Homes as well. I don't know, Jeremy, I don't know if you've ever been to Homes, but very cool spaces.
There's a lot of breweries that Jeremy wants to go to. It's just trying to find the time and money to get to these places.
Yes, well, you got to build your van. You can put a couple of
right.
I don't know if you can put taps in your van. You might.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I did. I wish I would have taken our so when you go to like some of these breweries, you can like get some to go, and because I have those like pressurized double walled ones, I'm kind of want to take some home and then like, all right, cool. Well, this will last for a week, but then I'm like, by the time I get home, I'm like, oh, like this was a stretch for me. Like, ooh, I'm gonna be drinking again. I don't know if I can. And you guys are like, let's do Curmudgeon's better half. But then you can't take as much shit home.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Fair.
It wasn't a bad
much
drive.
can you get on a train?
I don't think they have a limit, but you would just have to take like a giant suitcase and then just like fill it full of beer because they're not going to weigh that stuff. But they won't let you like drink it on that thing, so I don't know if they would. They don't ask you to like declare anything.
Gotcha.
So what are you guys tasting now? Do you taste it's warmed up a little bit? Do you taste any?
I still get alcohol and maple syrup.
Yeah. I'm very I'm very warm. It has warmed me up. Blushed probably.
Yeah, my face. I think if you watch this and like fast forward, you'd be like, oh, he's really warm, and his face is matched his screen color.
I think mine, Jeremy. I don't know what year yours was, but I think mine's mine's not as sweet. But yours was already warm, so maybe it didn't start out as sweet as ours did because mine and Mike's were out of the fridge.
Yeah,
it has definitely mellowed.
No, I mean it's definitely smooth. But I mean it definitely has like the alcohol burn towards the end. Still got a lot of maple syrup on the nose for sure. I mean a lot of maple syrup. And it smells good. I mean I love it. I mean it smells like breakfast, right? I want pancakes and shit. Which is kind of ironic because when you look at the bottle as the old man eating pancakes on it. So I guess it's kind of fitting. They don't want pancakes.
Well, we'll have to whenever I only have one bottle of Curmudgeon's left. I think I gave it most of it away, but we'll have to do a live Curmudgeon's in better half and deep cut. We'll do verticals or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll have to do that one day.
So, I'm gonna ask Mike a question. So, with my maple brown ale, which has maple syrup in it as well. Is my maple syrup that pungent on the nose? Does it actually stand out strong? Yeah, I don't think so.
No, because I feel like it's lost a little bit because it's not fake, I think, or something like that. Like I feel like you in order for it to kind of continue in there, you have to have almost a fake flavor of maple syrup or whatever because it's the non-breaking down versions of it or whatever. So
right.
I don't taste it as much, but I'd like to try it again. I gave Jason 2 of each and then 1 of the OBO original bitter, the one that you are like
ordinary bitters.
Oh yeah, ordinary bitters.
So if you crack it open and you don't like it, just pitch it. I didn't like it, but I found out I don't like British beers. So I've tried ordinary bitters. I've tried special bitters, and there's another one. Ooh. I'm just not a fan.
Was this one you just made it to try it, or
it was for a competition?
Oh,
I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm never gonna make this on my own because I'm not. And
otherwise, okay.
Yeah, so it was for a competition that I made it, and that was the joke I kept saying. I came in 3rd place, but there's only 3 people, so
Hey, you don't have to say that. Don't say that last bit. Just
But it's
I got
funnier
third
that way
place.
though. But it's only like 3.2%. So like
Okay.
now, like my old boss, he's from England or Scotland or wherever he's from. He's talking about how much he could drink and stuff like that. Well, I mean, I could drink all night long too if I was drinking 3.2%
Right.
beers.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
man.
that they had one that they called bitter at Goose Island, but now I can't remember because when we went on the tour, they like handed us like a couple of beers, and one was their IPA, which is very IPA.
What'd you think of that?
It's okay. Um, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Right.
It's just a general IPA. I was trying to find the name of it or whatever, but they gave us that, and then they gave us a like I thought they said it was a bitter. When you said that, I was like, oh, that kind of triggered a memory, but now I can't remember what the actual name of it was. But then they gave us a Bourbon County at the very end. They just gave a little tiny sample of it, which was really cool. And they explained basically how they're doing it and what they're doing, and the flavoring variance is like a weird like experiment with their head brewers and stuff. So it's kind of a and it would have been neat to have had the brewer actually give the tour, not somebody that had just started that day.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if she had started that day, but she had started giving the tours that day because she had way too much information to have just started at the place that day. So it was really, really cool. She did a really good job. And I ended up getting a tap handle just because it was like
Oh, did you?
$25. I was like, all
That's
right,
cool.
I'll take a tap handle from.
You unscrewed it from there, and you're like,
Yeah, they weren't
oh.
looking. I was just like, yes.
They're
Would be the first
"Found
thing
this?"
that you stole from Goose Island.
Shh. No.
No.
I mean,
So
when you buy like a $90 or when you buy like $200 worth of their beer, I think they should just throw in cups. So I just did
Right.
that for
I don't
them.
know
well,
what.
that's fair. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I don't even think they sold that variety of glass, and I'm like, oh, I really want this. And then in the Uber, you were like, hey, look.
Look what I found in someone else's pocket. And that
Yeah.
was mine. So I actually I did find somebody who tried to put a recipe together for this.
Oh, for Curmudgeon's Better Half,
Yeah,
did you?
Really?
better. Now it's not as strong. It's about 10%.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna read off the ingredients. So it's an old ale style still. And he made a 16 gallons is what he made. 16 gallon batch.
Holy crap, that's a lot. Oh, he probably
Yes.
needed to fill a barrel. Is that what he was trying to do?
He doesn't have a barrel listed in here, but he used 40 pounds of Golden Promise, which is like his base malt, 6 pounds of Munich malt, 6 pounds of Carapils, which basically is a malt that gives like head retention and stuff like that. 2 pounds of Dark Crystal malt, which is like well, I mean, it would add this color to it basically. It's just a dark malt that just bleeds off color. 2 pounds of molasses and 1 pound of maple syrup. So I was thinking I would use more maple syrup than what he's using, especially for 16 gallons. Because I feel like 1 pound is not really going to. I don't think we.
That's just like
anything.
one bottle of maple syrup. Did he specify like a brand?
No,
because I feel like real maple syrup.
Article.
I'm guessing real maple syrup would probably get like really, really lost. Like you'd have to use the like fake like Mrs. Butterworth or whatever the. And
well, you can buy little bottles of extracts as well too, right?
Oh.
Even his hops are super low too. He's only using like a total of 6 ounces of hops, so like 3 ounces of nugget and 3 ounces of pearl.
It's not very.
Does he say what it? Yeah.
Well,
does he say what it tasted like, or did it?
No,
did it work?
This is on a Brewer's Friend, which usually the recipe is just you just throw up the recipe. You don't add nothing to it for the most part.
Really?
But yeah.
Like, who's gonna duplicate that? It seems way too like that had to be expensive, right? That's a lot of pounds you were saying.
Well, I mean, so like you can buy a 55 pound bag of malt for like $70. So I mean, right there, $70. And if you bought pure maple syrup, a pound of that is what?
That's
$20, $30. Depends where you go. So I mean, that's $100, almost $100, just in two ingredients. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
It'd be
insane.
fun to try, but I don't.
They
if somebody went in on it, I would probably try it, but that's a lot of money up front.
so in Saugatuck Brewing, they have like a whole bunch of I think 10-gallon brewing stations that you can like pay to like come in and like brew your own beer, and they'll supply everything that you want. You just tell them like the recipe and they'll have it like already
That's pretty
all
cool.
like weighed out and stuff. I tried to like look into it, and there wasn't any information online, and the person I talked to at the counter didn't know, and they were like, well, I can go with my manager. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll call and figure it out later. But I think that would be kind of fun if you ever wanted to do like because it's probably like a set price, like it's like $300, and you're just like, all right, here you go. And then like you could brew like the most complicated like imperial that you wanted to brew, that you were like, it's going to cost me about $300 to do it, so I might as well do it in like a professional environment kind of thing. So I'm like, I would be excited to do that. It's like a 2-hour drive from here, I think, to get there. So I kind of wanted to like investigate that, because they have a pretty good maple, blueberry maple stout that I love.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. Yeah.
So I actually Googled it.
What?
It
Oh,
is
how to-
it had yeah, Saugatucks, they have, it's called Brew on Premise. It's cheaper for Mug Club, so we'll ignore that one. Or shareholders. For public, it's $3.75 plus 10-cent bottle deposit.
Yeah, because I think they bottle it for you and stuff, and they'll like create the labels and stuff for you.
So it's 4 hours to brew. Yep, you can do custom labels, and then 2 to 3
Hmm.
weeks to bottle and sample your beer.
I assume that's on the west side of Michigan. Then.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's right by
You can
Bell's.
bring your friends. There you go. We could. Let's do it.
Hmm.
Your final product is 60 22-ounce bottle.
60?
Not bad.
Yeah, I don't know how. So I don't know what.
22-ounce bottles?
That's
Yes,
a
that's a
lot.
lot.
Good lord, that's like 10
So-
gallons.
Don't think it's. I do 5-gallon batch. When I do 5-gallon batches, that's like 48-ish bottles. And then those are 12-ounce bottles.
So it's 60 times
22
22. How many ounces in a?
divided by 128 ounces in the gallon.
Nope. I times it by 128.
128.
I mean, that'd be really cool to do, but unfortunately, Jeremy, you'd have to come up here, or you could, if you just hang out, get your van, hang out for 3 weeks, and then we'll bottle it.
I think that we could just take it all home and then distribute it later too, like when we're all in town or whatever. I think it'd be really fun. Bell's is out that way too, so it'd be a neat. Even if we were to go there and then drive up to like Grand Rapids or something, I think that'd be a cool trip.
Yeah.
'Cause I like
Bell's
those
does a
breweries.
lot of they sell kits to make their
Yeah,
beer, or styles
do.
of beers, which I think is very cool.
Definitely will try an Oberon. It won't be this year, but maybe next year. Maybe I'll try to buy it. In the winter, so I'll have it.
10.31. I couldn't use my
Right, yeah, I just
number
did it
pad.
myself.
Yeah.
10 gallons. 10 gallons of beer. Well, 10
That's
gallons of
not
beer
bad.
between 3 people is not so bad.
Right. And then I'm wondering though, like, so if we did like a imperial, basically like doubled the recipe, would they wait for it to finish? Like,
So they have details.
okay.
Please note, specialty beers such as double IPAs, Baltic porters, imperial stouts, fruited beers, etc., may incur additional costs. Also, we do not provide any barrel aging for brew on-premise beers, so you couldn't do a barrel-aged beer. Obviously, I mean that makes sense. It's still very cool. That's a cool program. On the webpage, it says that they're the only brewery in Michigan that does that. So I'm curious.
Oh, we should
In
probably look
other
into it.
states.
See if there's other
Yeah.
other places to do it. I think it's really a cool concept to like kind of get people into it. And when you go in there, there's like a bunch of their like I'm pretty sure it's probably like a bride, or what's the stag party? That's
Bachelor?
The bachelor's party. I think it's probably like that kind of stuff that happens, and then they just get like but when I went to the bathroom in there, they had like all of the people's the cool logos and stuff that they made, and like the beer names and stuff. So it was pretty funny to see like.
Thank God you said
all of
that,
the
not
stuff.
like the keg sitting there. It's like in the bathroom.
No.
That'd be funny. Turn to a urinal.
Yeah, so I think that would be a fun. That would be a fun.
That's cool.
a fun experiment. Depending on, I would
Mhm.
have to we'd have to get like a really good recipe together, and then see what they would charge. Be like, okay, well, they won't do a double, so they're not going to like double the batch essentially, which is what an imperial ends up being.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
I
you
mean,
have to
it
figure out how
says
much you want to spend though too.
yeah, it says you can bring your own recipe or you can work with their brewmasters to make a new beer. So I don't know if it's do you have to bring your own hops and
No,
such
no, they said that they
or
would provide all of that stuff. Otherwise, that's kind of a waste because I would just buy the damn like
oh, that's
for
true,
like
yeah.
$400 almost. I would rather just buy like the automatic thing for $500 and make them all myself.
Sure.
That'd be cool. That'd be great. And I'm sure we can find other people to go in on it. So it's not just us three divided by whatever.
I'm
Yeah,
okay with us
exactly.
three though, to be honest. If it's good,
I don't.
I want to
Well,
share.
I don't need that. I don't need that much beer. There's no room. There's not enough room in my basin for what would you? Would you say it was
It's
5
just
gallons?
60
Well,
divided
it's
by
10 gallons.
That's
just
60.
20
Yeah.
beers. It's not
Okay.
even a case,
30. So 3 gallons.
but it's not even a case of
And
beer.
you leave
22
some in
ounces.
Michigan, you take some with you to Pennsylvania.
That's the thing I was going to mention. So we're talking about all these breweries. So Michigan, Illinois. Uh, I don't know of any breweries in Pittsburgh, and I guess I haven't looked that do barrel aged beers. And I'm sure there are. I know there's been a barrel aged festival, but I wasn't able to attend. But I'm definitely curious to try more barrel aged beers. I do like them, but they are a bit heavier.
Yeah, when I was at
Yes.
Revolution, they had they have Death by Currents, DETH. DETH, it's Deeth, but they pronounce it Death when they're talking about those things. It's the owner's name, his last name.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
They had the barrel of it for like $300 or a 16th, a 6th, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, that would be so good.
You
Death by Currents is amazing. So if I had my kegerator, I probably would have pulled that trigger.
you have a 16th in my basement
I know.
from your 40th birthday that you're still supposed to take of Goose Island's Bourbon County.
Yeah, you better get on that, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I wanted you to come out here and help me put the thing together, and then we lost power and didn't do anything.
Get me to work.
But I don't want to. So I guess we're getting close to the wrapping up point. But the I didn't want to go with a kit because I feel like you've already replaced or are about to replace almost everything from your kit, like your kegerator or keezer kit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would rather just wait and like piece it together like one by one with what you're getting, and then just buy like one that I can expand, kind of a thing. Even if I end up spending like a third or 2/3 more or double the price, I would rather do it one at a time and get the better of the two.
I'd be up on topic to talk about one day too, as well.
Alrighty.
Just
And on
give a
that
brief
note,
overview.
I'd like to say cheers and have a pint with your pals.
Roast.
Bye, everybody.